today.
Welcome back to 30 at 6. In November, voters in Maryland's 1st Congressional District will have 3 choices on the ballot for their representation in the House of Representatives. Republican incumbent Andy Harris, Democrat Jesse Colvin, and Libertarian Jenica Martin. Jenica is here with us in the studio. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So first, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've always been an advocate for others. I have spent my adult life working towards the betterment, helping others in the betterment of their lives. I currently hold a master's degree in public policy.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in DC for aging issues with a nonprofit lobbyist group. I've worked with the Catholic Charities Department for Persons with Disabilities to help their disabled populations, and I'm currently working on my PhD in public policy. I have a strong academic background.
Mm-hmm.
I have a passion when it comes to helping others, and I do have experience at the legislative level in DC.
So what compelled you to run for office?
I am angry.
Tell me about that.
But it's beyond that. I've seen a significant transition in the way that our government is currently being run. First of all, the two-party system, it needs to come to an end. Voters have a choice, and they need to know that that choice is out there. And to run, I've always wanted to help others, and God placed this task in my hands, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And I'm going to be that voice to help them understand that there are others that want to help them that aren't part of that two-party system.
So, if elected, and in general, what are your policy priorities?
I have 3. The first is healthcare. Andrew Harris promised in 2016 when he ran that he was going to dismantle and repeal the Affordable Care Act. He lied to us because the Affordable Care Act is still alive and well. Yes, they got rid of the individual mandate, but there are still policies within that particular piece of legislation that still incorporate community pricing, which is keeping costs for health care insurance high. The second is the opioid epidemic. It is not the taxpayers' jobs. They are the victims. It is the responsibility of the producers, which are the pharmaceutical companies, to come in and handle the situations and circumstances of their product. And then the third is federal spending. We need to eliminate non-essential departments in the government. We need to cut our military spending that's excess, help our veterans that are on the streets. I've spoken with homeless veterans, and they feel that nobody cares about them. Turn the VHA over to them. Let them run their health administration's processes. Let them choose who's going to give them the health care that they need and deserve. They shouldn't wait 6 months for medication.
On your website and in general, you talk about deregulation and the free market as a solution to public problems. What are some social problems that you think the free market is the best response to that currently the government is intervening in?
Welfare reform. I am against something that I consider a way for individuals to not rise above the impoverished conditions that they're in. And I think by eliminating the regulations within the free market system, you can incorporate a greater access to jobs and greater access to opportunities for those that have struggled throughout their lives, and they rely on a dependency program that doesn't help them. It just keeps them staying dependent.
Can we go back to the opioid epidemic for a second? So 2017 was a record year for opioid-related deaths here in Maryland. And many people believe that it's the pharmaceutical companies that got us into this mess by marketing opioids and painkillers to people who really needed them at the time. Why should we trust the pharmaceutical companies to come in and fix the problem?
I think we should, because first of all, if you're a manufacturer of a product and that product malfunctions and it doesn't work the way that you claim that it should work, you're held liable. then you face civil responsibilities, lawsuits, whatever the case may be. Individuals should have that option. My mother has been on opioid medication for 20 years due to a car accident that was no fault of her own. She's had numerous surgeries, and I'm watching her body deteriorate from the inside out. That is something that someone needs to be held responsible for that, because you have patients that were unaware when they started on these drugs, and if she stops, she can go into cardiac arrest. It's not something where she can just, okay, one day I'm not going to take the medication that's prescribed to me. But when she started taking it 20 years ago, there was no education provided to her on what the side effects would be. Hold the pharmaceutical companies liable for it. Listen, you've done this to me. You need to pay for the damages that you've caused. It's not about hoping that they'll become responsible. It's citizens making them responsible for their actions.
Switching gears a little bit, your background includes quite a bit of advocacy work for organizations such as Catholic Charities who rely heavily on government funding. Would you favor continued support for social safety net programs that provide the funding for the services that those organizations provide?
Well, here's the thing. Every issue in the United States, there is a nonprofit organization to address it. There are individuals that donate. A concept is eliminate the high taxation on individuals so they can take that surplus income, because individuals donate. I donate, other citizens donate. They will donate more to these organizations, and they will incorporate more funding into these organizations. Government is not the one and only answer. And I think that's something that even the nonprofits and American citizens need to know, that you don't have to rely on the US government for the things that you need. We can do it on our own. We just need to get rid of the restrictions and regulations that are put in place that don't enable us to do it.
You have two challengers in the November election. Why should voters choose you?
Andrew Harris has been our representative for 3 terms. And government's getting worse. So I don't believe that Andrew Harris has proven to be the representative that can actually implement the change that many of Eastern Shore residents desire. And then on the other end, you have Colvin, who a lot of the policies that I speak of, he opposes. For example, he believes that taxpayers should be, or taxpayer dollars should be going towards, combating the opioid epidemic. No, it shouldn't. So if individuals believe that what the incumbent and what the Democratic candidate are advocating for are not what they want, and they do agree that there needs to be a change in government and someone that's going to fight to ensure that their rights are not infringed upon when it comes to the freedom to make choices in their own lives based on their values, and who also believes that I don't play political games. I'm not into the bipartisan bureaucratic bickering that's going on. I will stand for what I speak and the principles that I advocate for.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.